Horror Hangout podcast where two bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with a K, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Ben Arrington.
How the devil are you?
Good. How the devil are you? Good. That's it. One word.
Good. That's all we need.
Good. You're looking very ominous with a lot of light in your face. Darkness.
Am I?
Yeah. You look ominous. Like
yeah, hang on a sec.
you're fixing to do something bad.
And
You don't have to change the lighting. I like it being ominous.
I prefer to look like I'm being interrogated by a detective. I get the light right in my face.
Yeah, I see.
Then it feels like I need to give better audio. I need to speak more.
Good cop, bad. Good cop, bad cop routine. Which one would you be?
Someone always. My dad always called me good cock, so. I'll go with that one. Why not?
Well, that's interesting. Let's not go into that. Let's not go too deep into that. Sorry for the turn of phrase.
So you got some news for us?
Well, horror news. I guess we should talk about It Chapter 2 has been released this week, and it's doing pretty well at the old box office. 185 million global opening. That's 91 million of that is in North America, so obviously it's doing well. Running time is obviously something that we've been talking about a lot, and is this the first and only horror film to be such a length? And obviously because it's a sequel, because it's essentially part of a franchise, that's the reason we've got it. But what does this mean for the future of horror? Luke Condor.
Is it 3 hours?
Oh, it's like 2 hours 50, something like that.
Okay. It's weird. I feel like films are just getting longer, and I don't think it's a good thing. Because especially on like streaming services, like they're all like 2.5 hours long. I always feel like they could do with like half an hour shaved. Midsummer was too long, even though there's going to be a director's cut. It's going to be like an extra 50 minutes. I don't know what they missed out on. Like, I just feel like people are losing. There seems to be less strict editing going on. Do you know what I mean? It feels like someone needs to get a bit keener with the editing knife and get chops and bits.
When that happens, though, do we get utter shit? Because when people, I don't know.
Well, I just mean it kind of. They always seem a bit more focused. I feel like one of the things like with films a lot nowadays is I just feel a little bit like, come on, like there seems to be like a lacking of a pace.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it Chapter 2, and while I'm not going to go into spoilers, I think it could easily lose 30 minutes or so and not affect the film. It does feel like it kind of spends a lot of time on certain things when it does kind of feel like, I know what you mean. Come on, man. Come on. You know what I mean? And I don't mind a long film. Like even shaving 30 minutes off of it makes it 2 hours 20, which is a long film.
I mean, what was it? Avengers Endgame? That was long, right? That was 3 hours.
Yeah. Do you know what? I guess there was a lot to squeeze in. A lot of characters, a lot of character arcs, a lot of stuff they needed to sort out.
Yeah.
So I think I can kind of understand with that. With it, Chapter 2, I mean, in terms of plot, it's kind of the same, if not a bit like similar to Chapter 1 plot, but just they're older.
Well, this is exactly what I thought was going to be the issue, because I'm a big fan of the book. The book is both timelines sort of happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's about how it repeats itself, and it sort of intertwines and coils and gets closer and closer. In the film, they split out all of the child stuff, and I was like, how could they do part 2 now? Because they've kind of separated out, and it kind of ruins the corkscrew nature of the story. But I don't know. I've not seen it yet, so maybe I'll be surprised.
You've not seen it, so maybe we should stop our conversation there. But I mean, it's still good. Yeah. It's enjoyable. There are some great performances from everybody. Everybody involved is good.
Yeah.
Richie, Bill Hader, is probably the standout, but that's just because he gets some good lines of dialogue and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's 100% worth a watch. Like it Chapter 1 kind of feels a bit standalone in a way. Like you could round it off there. And even though that's not the way the book ends, that could be it. That could be a finalized story. Obviously, because it did so well, it's silly not to bring out a Chapter 2 when you've got the content, the rest of the book there, ripe for the picking.
Yeah,
and the screening I went to on opening night was it was completely full in the cinema. So
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah,
exactly. So horror, even at this like huge blockbuster range, is just like it's never as good as it's ever been.
I've heard people complaining that it's too funny, but then I was thinking, Nightmare on Elm Street gets funny. Like,
Yeah.
could just be Pennywise
I
could be
mean-
the new Freddy Krueger for some kids.
Yeah, I mean there are laughs, but no more laughs than in chapter 1. I mean the kids were funny.
Yeah.
They had the bants. Yeah. So there we go. So I mean,
all blockbuster films have to have proper bants nowadays. If it doesn't
Yeah.
have bants, then people are complaining. This is too
exactly.
grim dark. This is too DC. Go on.
But yeah, I think if you did if you did enjoy chapter 1, then definitely watch chapter 2. Like I would never.
I enjoyed chapter 1.
I would 100% recommend it. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
go I'd
Okay.
go
Yeah. Okay, good.
ah.
Okay, I was hoping for people to be blown away by it, but we can't have everything.
Yeah. One more piece of news is that there's a Resident Evil spin-off game called Project Resistance. We got a reveal and a trailer today.
Really? Today?
Yeah. So it's a team-based survival horror. So it looks like in the same sort of vein as Resident Evil Outbreak, obviously, which was popular on PS2. So I think you can play it online.
Yeah.
And it's like a multiplayer game where 5 or 6 characters are in one area and you've got stuff to do. So it's not hugely story-based, but in this one, this just looks good. I mean, it looks for a few seconds I was like, that's just a bloody live action trailer, but it's not. It is CGI. It's computer generated. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be
And you're
pretty interesting.
a big old Resident Evil man.
Yeah, I'm a big old Resident Evil man. I've been playing Resident Evil. I've been playing Resident Evil 5 again, which obviously isn't the most popular in the franchise, but I remember. I've been playing through it and going, I don't remember this bit. Oh, I don't remember this bit. So it's been fun.
The Blair Witch game looks good. It's annoyingly it's only like PC and Xbox, which
Yeah.
I don't play games.
Yeah, I watched. Did you watch some of the gameplay?
So I watched the IGN review, and the guy was saying
Yeah.
it's the most effectively scary game he's ever played. And I was like, that sounds like hyperbole.
Yeah.
Hyperbole.
Yeah. Hyperbole. Yeah, I still struggle. That word to this day. What's the right way of saying it?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
Hyperboles. They should be hyperbole, really.
Should be hyperbole,
Hyperbolic.
Yeah, I've heard it's a bit glitchy and a bit buggy, but maybe that'll be ironed out at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
These things happen, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for stuff. That's it for news. Sorry. What
Okay.
about what?
Well, I've got to tell you about on Saturday we went to. Have you been to an escape room? Do you do escape rooms much?
No, I've never been to one. I
Okay.
think I am going to one at some point before or after Halloween.
Okay, so they're surprisingly fun. Like I was kind of not too keen on doing escape rooms, but then when you get there, you feel like I'm not going to get involved. I'm just going to help out. But as soon as you get there, you're like, right, we need this, we need to this. What's this code mean? Me and my friends are quite into it now. Me and Skip and a few other guys. We went to do a horror one, and it was maybe one of my favorite horror experiences in the last few years. It was terrifying. So it's called The Butcher, and what it is, so they took us to this little basement room, and it was pitch black, and the guide kept like looking over his shoulder as if like something was moving behind him, like he was scared. And he drops you off in this room that looks like the room from the first Saw, but it's darker, and there's like a little toilet in the corner, like a sink, and he says, right,
You used it immediately, didn't you?
straight away, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
They do say you best go for a nervous wee beforehand because it's the only they think it's the only 18 plus escape room they think of in England. There could be more, but no one else has sort of advertised it as such. And he said 50% of people don't complete it because they give up because it's too scary. They give you a safe word, and if you say it, you're allowed to leave the room. So you start doing the puzzles and stuff. You start looking for clues, and there's like bits of leather skin that's got like little codes on it and stuff. And the guy says there's hiding places dotted around. If you hear the butcher, this serial killer, coming, or you see him, there's like a CCTV camera thing, monitor, and it's just a long hallway. He says if you see the butcher coming, you need to hide. And he doesn't tell you what happens if you don't hide, but he just says there's a reason people have a safe word. He doesn't tell you anything. It's not like you're going to get raped or something. It sounds horrific. Oh. But there's one bit where... So we opened 3 rooms, and then we were doing quite well, but it's difficult because every noise, you're like, shit, everyone hide, and everyone's hiding, and then you realise you're just like 4 grown men hiding under a table. And he's like, oh,
from a man who ain't gonna hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. There's one bit where my friend Fru is in one room, pressing a UV button light that puts on the UV lights in this other room where there's a corpse and there's like some codes and stuff on it and stuff. And then I'm in this other room watching the CCTV monitor to see if this thing comes. Suddenly, like a giant cage door swings across, nearly cuts my arm off. Locks through in this one room, locks those two in the other room, and the lights just suddenly cut out. And then you just see the little guy on the monitor. It's like it reminded me of The Ring, where you saw the girl sort of coming down towards the camera. It was extreme. Like I was surprised by how scary it was.
Did you complete it then?
We got out with like a few minutes to spare. Yeah,
Yeah.
you sort of you find a door in the fridge, like a locked fridge thing. You go through it, and it's really fun. And I was surprised by just how scary it was. So if you ever get a chance, I definitely recommend it.
I don't know if I'd cope, to be honest. I think I would just end up running full pelt into a wall or something. That's the kind of thing I'd do. I think I would get scared.
Well, there was like it was surprised. There was like bits of there was nails like hanging out in bits and so. And I was like, someone could get hurt. But
helping safety.
All added to it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Other than that, I watched Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which we're going to do an episode on.
Yeah. I think as I said, we might try and do it chapter 2. Strike while the iron is hot. Is that the saying? Strike while the Strike while the iron is hot. On it chapter 2, and then Scary Stories after that, possibly.
And then also went to see the Scream Unseen thing in Odeon, where you get to see a movie that's not out yet. The scariest thing of the night is because quite a lot of people, and there's a countdown before it reveals what film you're going to watch. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the scariest one because you think this could be shit. Please be something good. And it was Ready or Not. And it was, I think it might be one of my favourite horror movies of the year so far. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like the look of it. Again, we'll probably do an episode on that once it's officially released. If you can remember it by then, Luke.
Yeah, I can remember. I mean, it's not a particularly complicated affair.
Yeah,
good.
Looks pretty cool. So did you punch the air when it was revealed as Ready or Not? Because I bet there was a lot of people there who didn't know what that was.
No, actually, I heard a lot of people just go, "Oh, thank fuck for that." There's a lot of people I think were kind of, but what else is gonna be? There's no other films on. If it was Crawl, like it's already out, so it's not going to be.
Yeah. You can't do films that are already out. That'd be well annoying, wouldn't it?
I was just worried it's going to be La Llorona or something like that. I mean, I think that's already out anyway, but
yeah, that's been out for a while. But there you go, it did all right. Was that it?
Yeah. Saw a couple of bits, but
couple of bits and tits. I've been watching The Dark Crystal on Netflix, which is bloody lovely. It's just pure magic. It's nostalgic, wonderful magic. Went to see the old went to see the exhibition with all the loads of the puppets and stuff in London. That was cool.
Did you get your hand up?
What was that?
Did you get your hand up? A puppet?
Did I get my hand up puppet? No, I didn't let you do that. Naughty innit? So I've been watching that, enjoying that. And I watched a film yesterday, Lords of Chaos. I don't know if you've seen
the black metal one.
Norwegian black metal, which is like it's based on a true story, but it's also there's a lot of fiction in it. It's a bit sensationalist. It's pretty distasteful.
So I don't know much about the film, but I know some black metal story. Is it the story about the guy who shot himself in the head and he used the picture as an album cover?
Correct. Yeah. So it's about the band. Okay. Yeah. It's about the band Mayhem.
That's
and
horrific.
So a guy killed himself. They used it as the cover, but then there's also the relationship between Rory Culkin, who plays like the guitarist of the band, and then like a new guy, like a bassist, he's like a church burning maniac, I guess. But it's kind of funny, but in a like weird sort of way, and it's
I feel a bit weird about real life stuff like that. I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I don't think that's quite the same thing.
Well, I guess so. It says based on truth, based on lies, and based on what may have happened. So, but I thought it was really good. Like it looked great. I mean, it's directed by a Swedish director who I think was a drummer in like a black metal band, cool. Jonas Ackerlund. And it's a really good looking film. Like some of the cinematography is great, and he directed Polar, with Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Hitman film, which I didn't like, but I wouldn't say this was the same director. It seems like this really is his niche.
Yeah.
The visuals are great. Churches burning, ravens, upside down crosses, corpse paint, all that stuff. And I wouldn't consider myself a fan of Norwegian black metal. And I think if you're not a fan, you're not going to be a fan afterwards.
Yeah.
If you are a fan, like, you'd probably be a bit annoyed by how everyone's portrayed in it, because everyone sort of comes across as, insane, pretty much. And
Maybe they were insane. I don't know.
maybe these guys were insane, but like everyone was insane. Everyone was indulging in a bit of something.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's up there with some of my favorites of this year, just because I got really drawn in by it. I was a bit like,
what you want.
this is so strange.
I wonder why you were wearing corpse paint today.
Yeah, sorry, mate. He's not, in brackets. He's not.
Yeah. Anything else you want to bits and?
That's it, really.
Okay,
That's
cool.
it, really. That's all I've.
Cool. Well, so let's talk about today's film then. Crawl. If you've got any information about it.
Yep. So Crawl, 2019 American disaster horror film directed by Alexandre Aja, written by Michael and Shawn Rasmussen, who liked my tweet when I said I was going to watch it. The bloody writers, they share a Twitter account, these guys. They're like when husband and wife, when the Rasmussens, when husband and wife share a Facebook account.
Yeah.
So it stars Kea Scodelario from Skins, and Barry Pepper as a daughter and father who, along with their dog, are hunted by alligators after becoming trapped in their home during a Category 5 hurricane.
Okay, so critics' consensus has been fairly nice, actually. An action-packed creature feature that's fast, terrifying, and benefits greatly from a completely game Kea. I think it's Kea. Why can't I know? Is it Kea Scodelario? Crawl is a fun throwback with just enough self-awareness to work. 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, but there's 75% on the audience score. So the audience weren't quite as keen. 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. That's an audience rated score as well. So they just weren't as into it as the critics were, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be a critics movie.
No, I suppose you're right, but I guess it's one of those films that kind of just it ticks the boxes it needs to for a creature feature. It doesn't outstay its welcome, I mean, it's 87 minutes,
and it definitely, like, everything that could be done with this concept, it does. Like, it rinses it completely. Like I was kind of amazed by how far they went with, like, when the shit hits the fan and there's all the flooding and stuff. They really just go all out with it. I mean, I was quite excited about this because Alex Aja. I thought it was going to be more Hills of Eyes and less Piranha 3D, though. I was kind of hoping for it to be more visceral horror than goofy, campy.
I mean, there's nothing against this film because I did quite enjoy it, but it was quite by the numbers for a creature feature. It didn't feel. I mean, it's quite claustrophobic. I guess it's mainly set around one setting, which is just a house. But yeah, this is one of those things when I just kept thinking, do alligators behave like this?
Well, okay. So I was like, there's a scene missing in this is when the toxic waste goes into the alligator swamp. Because they're not like normal alligators. There's something unnatural about them. And it needed a scene or something to go, they aren't just normal alligators. They've been eating smart drugs or something.
Yeah, because they don't kill and eat. They seem to just kill.
Yeah.
And that's it. But, I mean, definitely affected this film because, like, I think I had about 3 dreams about alligators afterwards. And then...
Could you not go to the toilet anymore?
No, I couldn't exactly. There was snapping, something snapping down there. I went in a lake. Like a week later. And honestly, that was all I could think about because we'd been like fishing in this lake and catching like.
It looked awesome, by the way. Those
crayfish.
Pictures. You're doing like some survival thing, right?
Yeah, so I did like a little survival weekend with like a guy who was basically Bear Grylls teaching you how to like make
fire
and shelters and stuff. But yeah, that was all I could think about. I was like, there's a crocodile in this lake and it's gonna an alligator and it's gonna come and snap my bloody legs off.
I think any alligators are gonna be offended.
This is
what did you call me?
What did you call me? I'll snap your bloody head off, mate.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's I gotta say, Kea. I always think it's cool when the Skins actors and young British actors are out there, especially because Tony, what's his name? The guy from Skins who is Beast and he was in Mad Max.
Nicholas Hoult.
He's done amazing, and Dev Patel is in Slumdog Millionaire, he's amazing. The guy who's in Get Out is an Posh Kenneth, he's amazing. All these people are doing amazing. I kind of feel like, what happened to these other... There's a couple more who haven't disappeared.
Make some effort.
A lot of them are in Game of Thrones. But
get yourself in a bloody Hollywood film.
But especially Kaya, because she was quite a big part of Skins. And I think everyone kind of thought she'd do bigger stuff. She was in Moon, and she was in The Maze Runner as well.
Okay.
But in fact, it's weird. I think we talked about Skins last week as well.
She's also in the Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
So she's got a great American accent. I think I found a plot hole in the film, but I think it's like a hole in her lungs because Kaya could not shout.
Did water rush right through it? That bloody plot hole. She couldn't shout. It's like
no. So whenever she's like shouting "Dad," it was like "Dad." It was like they couldn't. It's like had to film it next to some neighbours, and they were like,
yeah.
I was like, why isn't she shouting proper? Like, she just hasn't got the lung capacity. I'm like, she can't swim underwater. Can't hold her breath.
You know what it is, don't you? She smokes 40 a day. That's what it
Sounds like it. I don't know. I mean, I talked to the guy I went to cinema to see, and he was like, yeah, why couldn't she shout? Like, she's just whisper shouting. Help! It was weird. Yeah, but it was alright. It's good fun. I liked it.
Yeah. So we've got Kaya Scodelario as Haley Keller, who's like a student, athlete, swimmer kind of girl.
She's a girl. She's all the way girl.
She's a girl. She's her family are like, they live in Florida. Her family live in Florida. She's like moved away, but her family have like split up. So her dad, Barry Pepper, who plays Dave Keller.
Barry Pepper's a great name.
Hey, I'm Barry Pepper. He's like a sort of handyman, DIY, home contractor dude, and he's basically gone to their family home, which obviously nobody lives in anymore because the parents are split up. One of the daughters is like estranged from the family, and she phones and worries and stuff. Is that right? A sister? There's a sister.
Yeah. She's a phoning warrior of the family.
She's a phone voice. You got a major part in this film, just your voice.
I think her face is in it for a bit, but it's all Skypey. We'll have your face as part of your contract. We'll have your face, but we'll pixelate the fuck out of it.
And that's pretty much all you need to know because everybody else is a fodder for the alligator.
There's the boyfriend character, who is also fodder, but he
like a police officer /
yeah.
It's the sister's ex-boyfriend. Yeah.
So
there's a Category 5 hurricane on a collision course with Florida. Get the hell out of the state. But Beth phones Haley after she's done a bit of swimming.
I think she failed as well. She's like lost confidence in her swimming or something.
To be fair,
she lost my lungs are so tiny.
She was like 1/10 of a second behind someone.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, bloody hell! I'm
crap at this. Yeah. So she failed. So her sister's like, check on Dad. He's not answering or something, right?
This is classic, like Dad as well. Just like he's shit with his phone. Just like leaves it, just like somewhere, just where it's got like 12 missed calls, 48 texts.
See, my dad's the opposite. He checks in on Facebook to everywhere he goes. Like, it doesn't matter. It could be just like nipping to the shop. He just has to check in. Got to check in. Why do we need to know exactly where everyone is?
I like it.
In case there's alligators in stage 5.
Yeah, just so you know where he is at all times.
Yeah.
Right, we need to get to him. There he is. He's at the corner shop. Right, we need to get to him. He's at the museum. I don't know why.
Okay, so Kaya, what's her name? Helen Keller? No, that's Haley Keller.
Haley Keller.
Helen Keller. So Haley Keller drives towards his old house.
It's their old house, isn't it? It's where it's the family home, but obviously because they've split up, it's now a source of pain and suffering. But Barry Pepper's there. Barry Pepper's there doing up the house because he wants to sell it.
Yeah,
and he wants to get a good price. He ain't mucking about.
Okay. So, but on the way, the storm's really kicking in now. The police are sort of saying, "Don't go down this road. That's the wet road. This is the dry road. Take the dry road." And then Kaya and the guy the policeman who's doing it is like, "I'm your sister's ex-boyfriend. Hi."
So I better introduce myself.
Yeah. And then this is how they work in the film. And then he says, "To go this way," and then she goes that way, and then she goes against the grain because she's a badass.
I know what I do. I try and do that, and I just stall. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
And then so she gets to the house, and then the dad's not there, but the dog is.
Yeah. So first of all, she goes to like the condo, which is like his little flat, to see where he is, and the dog's there. The dog's called Sugar. How do you feel about that for a name for a dog?
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, it's a bit
Shug.
I don't know. It's alright. Come here, Sugar. Yeah, I can get along with it.
You sound a bit like a pervert, don't you?
Yeah.
If you're shouting that in
Sugar. If you were
Sugar,
shouting
come
Sugar,
here!
if you were shouting for her, you'd sound like you'd kind of like banged your knee or something, but you weren't the kind to swear. Sugar.
Or you're diabetic.
Yeah.
Diabetic,
you've not got your EpiPen. Sugar.
Sugar, please. Here, have a full
Jesus
fat
Christ.
Coke down your neck.
Sugar.
It's weird when people like don't swear and they say something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
I think I was a sugar guy. I mean, I used to say sugar when I couldn't swear.
I bet you were, mate. I bet you were.
I used to say things were mint when they were good. Do you say mint? It's mint, mate.
That's bloody mint. That's peppermint. just mint. Yeah. I think that was an English thing, wasn't it? That was a British thing. That was, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think that went beyond the realms of the. That's bloody
sound.
mint.
So when you're in Manchester, people still say sound. That's sound. That is sound. Yeah.
Sound that, kid.
Yeah. Okay, so so he speaks to the dog. The dog's kind of there mainly for us to be worried about the dog, especially in.
We're worried that the dog's going to get like just eaten.
Yeah.
Eaten whole. The dog is almost like, oh bloody hell, just go home, just get out of there, Jesus. He's just like, there, and
if we feel like, as filmmakers, if we feel like something isn't tense at any point, we just put the dog in danger for a little bit, and then.
Well, I rewatched I Am Legend recently, and that is one of the things that if you speak to anybody about I Am Legend, that is one of the things they take away from it. Dog dies.
Yeah.
Like, people can't get over that shit.
It's such a palpable part of any film if the dog dies.
People just can't remember anything about that film. They go, what was that film about? Oh, Will Smith. Like, oh, what was he? In a house in New York, chilling out. Dog dies.
He has to kill the dog, though. I mean, that's an important part. So in the book, I think it's more horrific in the book. Because in the book, he lives alone. Have you read it, by the way? I don't know if you...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in the book, there's a whole thing where instead of he lives with the dog, has to kill it because it goes mental. He lives alone, and he desperately wants to have company. And over like a period of a week or something, he manages to become friends with this dog. And it doesn't like run away from him eventually, and then it dies like a day later. It doesn't say why it dies. It just gets ill and dies. Yeah, like it spends like a whole couple of chapters making friends with this dog.
See, I remember that, but I don't remember it dying. I remember it just like.
It's like just like one word. He ended a chapter. It's like he spends ages building up a trust with his dog, and he goes, and then it died. It's horrific.
And then it died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so this dog's Sugar's here as a dog, for us to worry about constantly. So then she goes to the house in Coral Lake, which is basically bang in the middle of like the hurricane.
Is it a cul-de-sac?
Is it?
Well, then it looks like a cul-de-sac, but then it's got a swamp next to it.
Oh yeah, so it got a swamp next to it. So you're like, this is the worst place to be during a Category 5 hurricane. The rain's really coming down now. Mm-hmm. Wind's whipping up.
Alligators.
Crazy shit. Things are flying around. So they go through the flooded streets and they find Dave's truck at the house. So obviously he's there. And this is like the long... like, how long does it take her to find him? Like, he's literally in the deepest recesses of the house, just like...
What was he doing in there again? Or did he have to go deeper in? Because
I think he was... So because of the flooding, he didn't want the house to get like permanently damaged. So he went right down into the basement, right down into this crawl space, and was trying to block some of the like what would have been some of the leakages, maybe some.
What are the vents for, if not for?
Maybe some vents, yeah.
Well, there's like vents in the basement.
Yeah.
For they look like they're for water. I don't know what they're. And there's like a sluice thing from the lake. Is that?
Yeah.
What's that for?
Yeah,
Why do you need that going in your house?
I don't know. To be fair, like this underground bit is all pretty horrible. Like it's got all these pipes everywhere that like all different levels, and sometimes you smash your head on it. So other times you'd be all right, and it just seems really horrible to navigate. You've got to like crawl through the muck and mud
Oh yeah, yeah.
to get there. So he's
Ugh,
basically
yeah.
fixing something, and she goes down, finds him, but he's unconscious and he's been wounded. Like his leg has been torn up by.
Yeah.
He's already been attacked by an alligator, but he managed to crawl into an area where the piping was in such a way that the alligator couldn't get through.
The alligator, the pipes just a little bit too low for this alligator's head.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. It feels like a safe zone. I'm on base. I'm on base.
I'm on base.
Try
You
and
can't
get
touch me.
But it's all part of the plot. So she finds him, and then I think she says, like, "I'm going to get some help." But then as she goes, she gets attacked by the first alligator, maybe?
Yeah, I think initially there was one, and I think even in this film I was kind of made to think that there was just one.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's established pretty early on that there are more than one. How are there maybe three in total?
In the
Two, three?
in the basement, I think it starts off with two. A big one
Yeah,
and a little one.
Yeah.
But then I think it just keeps appearing.
Yeah, so obviously there's a difficult like this. Obviously, this first act of the film kind of like is stuck underground in this crawl space. The water's slowly rising, and they're basically trying to work out different ways that they can get out. And there's one way when they sort of bang the pipes to try and sort of get the alligator's attention, while Haley goes for the. They get pretty much stuck. They pretty much get stuck down there, like for quite a while.
Yeah, and alligators are right by the stairs, aren't they? I think. They know.
Yeah. This initial part of the film, I felt like it was kind of like I didn't know where it was going to go. It's like I knew they'd get out, but like I was a bit like, come on then, get out. Do you know what I mean? I was, But I think what it was doing, it was waiting for the crawl space to flood, wasn't it? It was trying to make us feel like that these characters were against the threat of the water rising on the clock.
So there's a bit in the film where the dad distracts the alligators, and then she. By the way, they don't get along. The whole thing is they don't really get along anymore for some reason or other. So the dad distracts the alligators with a shovel and a pipe, and she gets the mobile phone, and then she makes a really stupid decision of starts the phone for the police or an ambulance. Like she's not back at base yet. She's right by the alligators.
Yeah.
Because she thinks there's just one. But even so, you would still get back to safety and then make your phone calls. Check your Facebook and Twitter and that.
Then make your phone calls. Sign yourself in to crawl space under the house.
Check in, yeah.
Check into that.
So, but then she starts phoning, and then she gets attacked by a second alligator that was hiding. It shouts "Ooga Booga," jumps on her, and then is this where she gets ravaged by her teeth? Because it's so horrific. This is the most horrific part of the film, I thought.
The teeth. I think she gets ravaged at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember exactly how everything happens. There's another bit where she tries to get out of this secondary exit, but then there's like a box on top of it. It's like a hatch.
Yeah.
So she pretty much manages to get there, and she can't get out because of the box on the hatch. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Bet that was Dave. Bet that was Dave who put it there, wasn't it?
But then the dog's there, like licking her fingers. Hello.
Hello. All right. I was like, but help me then, sugar, for God's sake.
Just goes to get the ball.
Yeah. So then, obviously, there are a few different ways of getting out have been sort of gazumped. What happened with the police? Did they just say, "Oh, they"?
So they start to. Well, I think before the police, there's the people robbing the thing across the road. So
we've got some looters sort of in a gas station. Again, you said it was a cul-de-sac, but there's literally a gas station across the road.
Good point.
Which I thought which is a bit weird.
So I heard that there's no such thing as basements in these kind of houses in Florida. It's not something they have, and that kind of makes sense because I don't understand why they'd have like a pipe going into the lake, and also why would you have a gas station and like a little cul-de-sac thing? So I kind of feel like the geography of this is just whatever suits the story at the time.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it affects things too much. Like, it's a bit odd, but I guess you kind of think, especially with the storm. I feel like when the storm's happening, you're kind of a bit like, whoa, where are we, man? There's rain everywhere. There's a river in the middle of the street.
Exactly, yeah. So there's 3 kids looting they've got this little boat and they're looting the shop. They're getting the cash machine and they're
They're literally getting a whole cash machine into the
Yeah.
boat.
And then this is when it's like the alligators suddenly become very smart because they start to pick off these looters quite quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's proper noshing off one of them.
Yeah.
It looks pretty brutal. They eat him, and then Kaya Scodelario is looking at it, and then she sees her chance of safety of rescue going. And I think the cops maybe turn up a little bit after that.
Yeah. So the cops kind of just... Did they turn up after her phone call? They didn't turn up on a whim, did they? They turn up...
I don't know, because I think it was a whim. I don't know if she managed to get through to anyone.
Yeah, so it seemed like the police were kind of just looking for anyone who might still be there, and it happens to be her sister's ex-boyfriend, who she saw on the road, is one of them. So they come in, investigating a house for survivors, but I think almost immediately, they're banging on the pipes, aren't they? Bang, 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 bang. We're down here, bang, 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 bang. So the police are like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And obviously there's a hatch which leads to the initial staircase. And here we get like a jump scare, which was unfortunately in one of the trailers.
Yeah, kind of ruined it. I mean, that we kind of all knew what was happening. I mean, that would have been good to see fresh in the film. So all these there's more and more alligators appearing now. By the way, they're starting to act more like piranhas in the sense that they just seem to sort of school around people, sneak up in the water, school around, and then there's like the other policeman, an alligator grabs his leg, another grabs his head, his arm, and they all twist at the same time and like rip him apart as if it's like that was the plan. Like it's weird. They're acting sort of.
Imagine one of them just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we doing again? We all twist now. Oh, I've already twisted. Sorry, pulled his head off.
Dave.
Dave.
So yeah, the alligators weird because the alligators we missed the scene here where they drank the smart juice or something because they're not like normal alligators. So. At some point, they get out of the. So, what's her name? Swims through to the nest. She finds a nest under the basement.
Yeah. So she basically there's like a storm drain bit, and she swims through. I think around about this point, Dave manages to kill one of the alligators by shoveling its head.
Yeah.
He gets like trapped trying to get him, and he just shovels the shit out of his head. The whole time during this film, I just think Dave's dead. There's no way he's gonna get out of this at all. Like he's dead. He's ravaged. He's drowning. He's dead, but he keeps surprising us.
Yeah.
There's quite a good scene here where Haley swims through like a tunnel, a pipe, and the green is really like sort of quite. Is when she swims out and she looks up and you see the sort of alligator swimming along, see her little legs, which looks pretty cool. I thought that was good. But yeah, she manages to kill one of the alligators in the nest as well with a gun. She gets there's like a body of one of the police officers.
Yeah.
And she shoots. Well, the alligator bites down on her arm, and she managed to shoot the gun while the arm's in there.
Yeah.
You've
seen that video of that alligator that rips the other alligator's leg off.
I don't think so.
I don't think it realizes that it's another alligator, but it's one of its brother's arms or whatever. It goes in its mouth and it bites down and like rolls and just tears its arm off. It's like easy, just tears it off.
Yeah,
so
it's weird that
they do that. Yeah,
they roll, don't they? That's scary. I'm scared of that, Luke. Don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah. Watch out when
so
you're in the bath.
She kills not in the bath again, mate. So she kills that one, and then she does make it upstairs, and she managed to crowbar the living room floor open.
Yeah,
to get Dave in, because he's got like what an inch of air.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah, good impression. He's So he's drowning.
I find those scenes really effective. Like I know they get overdone now, but when someone's like running out of breath, I think we first saw it in like The Abyss, where it's like that's scary. Like the water just because when do you take the breath? Because I think I'd take it too early. I'd take it, but then there'd still be like 30 seconds worth of air right there, and I'm drowning under it.
And you don't want to like
do it too late
because you get water in your mouth and
you just go.
But he does drown there, doesn't he? He drowns and then she pulls him out, and then
she pulls him out like with unbelievable strength as well.
Yeah,
and she just pulls his cold dead body out of the water.
That must be solid, like because he's all wet and like his clothes are wet and stuff. It must be really hard. But
Can't really lift myself out of bed, mate.
But she's a swimmer, so swimmers are strong. And then she performs what's it called to the is it you do it to the rhythm of Staying Alive. That's how you know how. What's that?
CPR.
CPR. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he wakes up. They're all right, and then they're like, right, we got to get out of here. And they get the looter's boat, and the hurricanes are getting gradually worse. The water's getting even higher. Floodwaters are breaking up the levees.
There's a bit where they're like, Kaya, you need to swim across this river bit to get to the boat. You need to swim faster than a load of alligators.
Yeah, like, and then we get loads of flashbacks to when he was her swimming coach and he was on the side, like blowing his whistle and going, "Fucking swim faster, you bastard!" Yeah, and we get flashbacks to that, but this time he's just dead. Swim faster, woo!
Yeah,
and she does it because obviously, alligators are dead slow. Well, apparently.
So they get in this boat, and they're all there: the dog, dad, and daughter. Dog, dad, and daughter. And they're all like, they're getting away. And I'm like, oh, okay, the film's ending now. But then the levee breaks and it blows the boat back into the house.
Yeah, basically, it's like a bit in Jurassic Park, when they get out of the car, go down the tree, but then the car falls and lands on them again. And then Timmy says, "We're back in the car again."
Yeah.
So it's almost like that, but with a boat in a house. We're back in the house again.
But the water's rising now. It's like it's going up the stairs. It's going into the. There's a good bit actually where Kaya is in the bathroom and she's in the shower thing, and she's sort of blocking out the water, and then she sort of opens it for the alligator to come inside. She locks it in and just sort of
flaps over the top. Yeah, so that's good. So they get separated in the house. Dave and Haley. As I said, she ends up in the bathroom. There's a bit where she's in the kitchen as well, sort of like climbing over stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Dave's doing at this point, just chilling somewhere.
He gets his arm ripped off, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does get his arm. He does get his arm ripped off, doesn't he? At the bottom of the stairs, he's just like, "I'm off up to bed now. See you later, guys." And then alligators just rip his bloody arm off.
No, you wait.
At this point, I was like, right, Dave is definitely dead.
Yeah,
he's dead. There's no way he's surviving this.
There's a bit just before that as well where the dog is swimming through the water, and you look under the water and you see its little legs kicking.
You're like, he's dead too.
Yeah, I mean, if this film did anything good, it was like making you think things were about to die that didn't.
That's definitely going to die.
But the thing is, everything else got killed super easy. Like the people in the water outside, like within the shark. I mean, the alligators were like on game. Everyone else, they're really struggling to.
They're very shark-like, these alligators, aren't they? I mean, I know sharks aren't as brutal as that, but in terms of what we've seen in film so far, these alligators are very shark-like.
Yeah. So they make their way upstairs with one arm less, and then what happens? So they get on the roof. Oh no! So the dad and dog go into the attic to get on the roof or something, and then she gets bitten on the arm, and the alligator drags her down. Yeah,
he's like death rolling her, but she manages to.
Because she's a super swimmer, she can keep her arm on.
Yeah.
To practice that in swimming.
So she's got like a flare as well, and she manages to like roll. It looks like she's kind of like rolling with it.
Yeah.
And manages to like stab the flare in the alligator's eye, and then she swims to the roof and on top of a house. And then another alligator like comes out of nowhere, almost gets her as well. So it's all it's all pretty intense towards the end.
But let's say when I say like, the film seems to go everywhere you can with this concept. Where else could you? Because the entire it looks like Florida is flooded. Like it looks like because they're on the roof and there's nothing but water. There's dead things. Everyone's dead. Someone's lost an arm. They've been throughout the house. They've been in a shop. There's had schools of alligators. She's shot a couple. Been in an alligator nest through a little tube. They've done everything that you could do with this concept.
In a little tube. Have they been in a little tube yet? Yeah, they have. Oh.
Like
you could. The only other thing they could do is if they went to another house or down the street or on top of the garage.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Could go to a car, drove away, but
yeah. I mean, as a thing, it all descends from in a pretty shit situation to unbelievably dire situation pretty quickly, and there are moments during almost at every turn where you think but all of the main characters are going to die.
Yeah.
So it keeps you on the edge of your seat in that way, Crocnado. which is basically what it's filming.
Yeah.
Crocnado, even though it's alligators, I know.
So, but at the end of the film, the relationship is fixed between dad and daughter. They've kind of realised that they.
Yeah. 'Cause he's got one arm, and he's like, life's too short.
Yeah.
My arm's too short.
Yeah. You can't do that thing anymore where you do that and then you go over the top with one arm and just make them longer and longer. Do you ever do that?
What, until you end up
reach the far
Mr.
wall.
Tickle. Do you end up like
Yeah.
Mr. Tickle?
Yeah. Okay, so I've got some trivia for you.
Oh, very nice.
It's quite difficult because there's not too much about this film just yet. But, number one, given how big the movie is, can you guess the budget? We've got A, 6.7 million.
It's right in front of me. I'm just getting rid of it.
Okay. A, 6.7 million, B, 13.5 million, or C, 21 million.
I'm just going to go bang in the middle with that. 13.5.
Yeah, that's correct. The box office for the film was 74.6 million. So it made plenty of money back.
See, again, yeah, exactly. It's just one of those where, if you can make a film like that with an established director who's good at making,
Sam Raimi, isn't it? So when we went to watch this film, everyone was in my little group was like saying, "Oh, it's a new Sam Raimi film," and I was like, "Is it?"
Yeah.
I mean, I know he produced it, but
There's got a name on it.
more Alexandre Aja to me.
Yeah.
Number two, Kaya Scodelario started her career as Effie from Skins. How many of the original Skins gang can you name? And there's 1,
None.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can't name any of them.
Well, I've got to name the actors or the...
Well, I meant the characters, but if you could do the actors.
Oh, no, I never bothered, sorry. Yeah, and it was filmed in Bristol, but I never bothered.
Of course, yeah.
Mitch.
Yeah?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Spalaki.
Yeah.
Ranald.
Yep.
Ranald and
Have you say you've never seen it?
and Fob.
Yeah, you've got all 7 of them. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, I saw like bits and bobs because people would go, "Oh, look at this bit! It's like College Green in Bristol," and you'd go, "Yeah, right." And then there was another scene which was filmed in like a cafe that my dad used to go to, so I saw those bits. But I don't know. I used to work with someone who was like her brother was like one of them. I think it was. Is there like a gay guy, a gay kid who's like Bill Bailey's dad?
Ranald.
Bill Bailey's the dad. Ranald. It was her brother. It was her brother,
yeah.
and because of that, I was a bit like, I ain't gonna bother watching that.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Because she's a bit of a dick. Childish.
Well, okay. Well, so there's Maxi, is that one? Anwar, who's Dev Patel. Jao, don't know. Michelle, don't know. Cassie is Gilly from Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, Chris.
Oh yeah,
is,
Cassie.
Robert Baratheon
Is he the one?
from Game
Is
of
he the one?
Thrones.
Is he the one with the hat on?
No, that's Sid. I don't know who Sid is anymore.
There's an at on one, and then there's Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult,
Nicholas Hoult, who has not got at on.
Also, Nicholas Hoult, his hair kind of looks like a hat a lot of times. But Nicholas Hoult is in About a Boy. Have you ever watched that?
Yeah.
He's a weird kid. He's a strange kid.
And who knew he would have grown up to be
a strange man.
Strange looking man.
He was going to play Batman. Did you see that? I'm glad. I think Robert Pattinson is
I've literally
way
heard
better for the
him
role.
linked to Batman and Bond, and I just think, please God, no.
He's not the kind of guy we need right now. But I like him. I think he's a great actor. I just don't think he's that kind of role. But
no, he's not Batman. He's not Bond. Sorry.
I think Robert Pattinson is pretty good actually to have. I think so. Well, I'm not a big. I just think from like Good Time and stuff like that, he's
Good Time, and then obviously the Lighthouse trailers, which look bloody ominous and terrifying.
He doesn't sound anything like you think he'll sound when you see him when he's not acting as the sort of broody.
Yeah. Does he sound like?
He just sounds like a. I'm gonna
say
middle class. Yeah, he sounds like Crispin Bell's Batman voice.
Is he English?
Yeah, super English, and sort of like Hugh Grant sort of level of like bumbling over himself, self-conscious. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Who knows? We're gonna be Batman apparently.
Okay, number 3. Can you name the burglars?
What burglars? Harry and Marv.
The wet bandits. The really wet bandits.
Yeah.
No, the The burglars from the shop.
Can you?
Yeah.
Also, right, bearing in mind, we're a little bit behind on this. Like, I didn't watch this film. Like, this was the first film I watched, like, of all the ones we're going to do recently. 25th of August, I watched this. Jesus. Right, is there...
Yeah, I think I watched it like 3 weeks ago now.
Ron, is there Ranald...
Spalakey.
Spalakey and Simeon.
Simeon. Correct? I don't know how you're doing this. No, okay, so there's Marv, Stan, and Lee.
Is there actually a Marv? So Marvel Stan Lee. Is there actually a Marv? I said Harry and Marv at the start, and one of them's Marv. Basically, I win the trivia.
You did, but it's Marv Stan Lee as a sort of homage to Marvel's Stan Lee.
So who was there was a female, so was she Lee?
Marv, I don't know. It just says Marv, Stan, and Lee. I don't know who you actually are.
Hang on a minute. On this year's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, one of Marv, Stan, Lee. Yeah. What from the film Crawl? Yeah. Which one were you? I don't know. I was never told, but I'm one of Marv, Stan, or Lee.
Okay, so number 4. What is the average lifespan? This is an easy one, easy peasy. What is the average lifespan of a crocodile, alligator?
Oh God. They're like prehistoric, aren't they?
Yeah, but they haven't lived since then.
That's not what I meant. 30 years.
That's good. 30 to 50 years. Well done. Oh. But this is going to go against what we just said. The last question: is it true that alligators can live forever?
Well, it depends. If they find like some toxic waste that they've slurped up and now they're just going on.
So no.
I reckon some of them can. I reckon there's a bloody alligator somewhere who's been around since the start.
Yeah. So here's the really kind of mind-blowing thing about alligators. Alligators can't die of natural aging.
Ah.
They just don't age in that way. But nature has a way of killing them. The way they die is out of starvation or if they contract a disease, which they all will do at some point in their life. They keep growing throughout their lifespan and they require more and more food, so they'll die of starvation eventually.
Oh.
But they just don't age.
What if one of them gets locked in a bloody food factory?
Fridge, yeah. Like if there was like a constant supply of food and space, then it would just, I guess, unless it gets a disease, which it probably would.
Alligators in space. That's what I want to see.
I mean, I don't know if that includes cancer, because I'm sure it does. I'm sure they get some sort of cancer, but they just don't age. They don't have to they go bald. They don't have to get grey hair.
What's the oldest alligator ever?
I think 80. I think I saw.
Yeah, the Muja.
Yeah.
Riga Zoo in Latvia. Well, obviously in prehistoric times, but they're older ones. 75 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's pretty.
And there's also a list of the 8 oldest alligators in the world.
There's Muja one.
There we go. Muja's one of them. Yeah, Muja's one of them's called Big Daddy. One of them's called Cassius. One of them's called
Marv.
Henry. And one's called. And one's called. Hang on a minute, Mr. Freshie. Mr. Freshie apparently lived to 140.
He was not Freshie by the end of it.
No, he wasn't. He was absolutely stinking.
Stinking. Okay, we need to rate the film. I don't know what you're going to go for. I think I've got an idea.
I think we flashed through this pretty quickly. I think that kind of tells you what you need to know about this film, which is it does exactly what you expect it to do. It's satisfying, it's filling, and again, it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's nice and snappy. See what I did there?
Yeah, like it. Yeah,
snappy, to the point. I'll probably give it a B minus.
Okay.
Is that what you were expecting?
No. I'm just trying to think of a alligator pun, but it's not quite coming to me. Okay. Alligator it C+.
Alligator it.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but I was going to give it C+. It's perfectly fine. It's a fun evening, fun popcorn day.
A fun popcorn day. It's a fun popcorn day at the cinema. Yeah, it's a popcorn. It's a popcorn film. I mean, far different experiences if you go and watch this as if you're going to watch a 2 hour and 50 minute long It Chapter 2.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no crocodiles in that.
Is it not?
Alligator.
Okay.
Oh,
Man. So there you go. Next week we'll do It Chapter 2. I don't think it will take as long as the film, 3 hours, but we'll see. So this show is brought to you by Hawk and Cleaver. Head over to hawkandcleaver.com. Become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovacs Cameron for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Go and buy a t-shirt from hawkandcleaver.com. Thanks to the listeners. Thanks to the Facebook group people. And thanks to my co-host Ben for being a right hour dude.
thanks very much, Luke. As always, thank you.
Alright. Bye.